Canine Companions for Independence is a nonprofit that provides highly trained assistance dogs free of charge to people with disabilities. At their national headquarters in Santa Rosa, California, the work starts before puppies are even born. They work hard to meticulously select and pair dogs for breeding. Litters are then raised in homes with volunteers. At the same time, a request for an application is submitted online. As the applicant's paperwork is being filled out and sent, the quickly growing 8-week-old pups are placed with volunteer puppy raisers where they will be cared for and learn basic socialization and obedience skills. Before applicants are accepted to receive a dog, they go through a multi-step interview process, including a phone interview, medical paperwork, and an in-person interview. Accepted applicants are put on a wait list until they are invited to a team training class to be matched with an assistance dog. When the dogs are fully grown, they leave their puppy raisers and return to Canine Companions to work with skilled professional trainers to learn advanced commands and tasks. Then comes the day when the person and dog meet for the first time. Here at Team Training, the newly matched team learn to work together and training continues until they graduate as new partners. Canine Companions will continue to follow up with the pair for the lifetime of the placement, serving as a support system for the team. Canine Companions for Independence has been providing assistance dogs to people with disabilities free of charge since 1975.
Welcome to the stage, Southwest Region Executive Director Pam Becker.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the February graduation ceremony for Canine Companions for Independence at the Southwest Region, or as sometimes we say, the South Best Region. My name is Pam Becker, and I'm the Executive Director of this 9-state region with a training facility here in Oceanside. We are thrilled and honored that you are here with us to celebrate this very important day. Many of you have been to a graduation before, so you know what to expect. You know to find the Kleenex. But there are also people who are new to Canine Companions or who have never attended graduation. If this is your first graduation, would you raise your hand just so we can welcome you? Yay. I'd also like to welcome the people who are watching on their computer screen via our live streaming or in a recording later on. I'm biased, but I believe that the people and dogs of Canine Companions for Independence are working to accomplish a very special mission. We are a national nonprofit organization that enhances the lives of people with disabilities by providing highly trained assistance dogs free of charge. We're the oldest and largest organization of our kind, having graduated over 5,600 assistance dogs since our founding in 1975, including 266 dogs who support veterans. We currently have over 2,200 active graduate teams across the country, which includes 374 here in the Southwest region. Last year, Canine Companions hit an all-time high by placing 403 dogs in 1 year with graduates across the country. This year, we are already on our way to matching or exceeding that total. Today, across the country, happening almost simultaneously, we have a total of 70 teams graduating in our 6 regions, including the 15 teams who you will meet later. With their canine companions, these 15 teams will have lives with greater independence, as well as unconditional love, and even some occasional dog slobber. Sorry. Our service dogs assist adults with practical physical tasks, like picking up dropped items, opening and closing doors, or turning lights on and off. Hearing dogs alert adults who are deaf or hard of hearing to important sounds such as a doorbell, a smoke alarm, or somebody calling their name. The skilled companion dogs provide physical assistance and unconditional companionship to children with disabilities or severely disabled adults. And the facility dogs work alongside professional caregivers, therapists, educators, police departments, to enhance services to people with disabilities or people who need special attention. As you can tell, Canine Companions are very busy. Okay, so if you're like me, you're spending extra time these days in front of the television watching the Winter Olympics. I can't help but make some comparisons between those athletes and the people who are here today. First, there are the graduates and their families, they're over here, who have determination, strength, and the drive to make the most of the partnership with their new assistance dog. For the last 2 weeks, they've had to learn new skills, practice them, and even be tested on how well they could perform them. I can tell you that every team definitely earned a gold medal. Good job. And then there are the staff and instructors who, like the coaches at the Winter Games, are experts in their field, but who also want nothing more than for their students to excel and be successful. There might be times when we use some tough love, but in the end, our pride for each graduate overflows. And finally, there are the fans, followers, and almost 1,000 active volunteers across our Southwest region. Even though it's dark, I can see you out there. You're wearing your Canine Companions shirts, your hats, you're holding tight to that puppy that you are raising, and you are spending countless hours and resources supporting this organization with incredible dedication and loyalty. In fact, I bet that if Canine Companions had a team song, we could all sing it in 4-part harmony, just like a national anthem. Somebody needs to get on that, please. Thank you for the role you play in today's graduation, and I am grateful to have you on the Canine Companions Olympic team. I also want to thank some people, foundations, and companies that make Canine Companions program so successful. You see them behind me. We're profoundly indebted to our generous donors and supporters who are on the screen behind me and who are also in the audience today. These people and companies were inspired by your mission to make a gift, and we are grateful for your support. Thank you. And in particular, a special thank you to Dean and Gerda Kuntz, Leslie Hennessy and Randy Kunkel, Patricia Lazar, the Julian and Vera Wells Foundation, and Roy Polachek. You are our champions. Thank you for funding our programs and enabling us to provide these incredibly skilled and loving dogs to our graduates free of charge. Let me mention that part again, free of charge. We estimate that it costs $50,000 to breed, raise, train, place, and provide follow-up services for each assistance dog. And because we don't accept any government funding, we truly could not do it without you. So there's a lot of really great information in your printed program. I'm sure you're holding on to it tight. For example, in addition to the list of wonderful donors, you can read the names of puppy raisers who are here today, as well as many other volunteers who helped make today possible. We've also included information about upcoming events and opportunities to get involved. I encourage you to fill out the form that's tucked inside and return it before you leave today. So in closing, I don't think I can say it enough. Thank you for being part of the Canine Companions family. Thank you for giving the gift of your time, the gift of your finances, and the gift of your love. Together, you have contributed to changing people's lives by bringing exceptional dogs to exceptional people. And now it's my privilege to introduce an extraordinary volunteer, one of those exceptional people who gives so graciously of her time and talents, President of the Southwest Regional Board and puppy raiser, Sandra Thiederman.
This is always such a kick. You know, I was down at the campus last week to meet with Pam about a couple of things, and I wasn't in the training room, but I could feel the activity and the preparation and the loving frenzy that was going on there. And this phrase came to mind. I said, it's like Canine Companions for Independence has a springtime 4 times a year, every quarter. Because every single one of these graduations is like a culmination of the hard work and the learning and the things that our graduates have gone through and the testing. and all the training of the dogs to come to this day. And on this day, new flowers are growing and new lives are changing. And I get teary every time I talk like this, and new beginnings. So to me, today is really, really like a springtime. Glad you're all here. Those of you that are come back so many times and those of you that are new, I want to reiterate what Pam said about this form that's in here. It's something we're starting new to make sure that we don't lose track of having contact with those of you that are coming for the first time. So, fill it out when you get a chance and, hand it to somebody who's wearing a badge or leave it on your seat. We'll find it. Or drop it on the floor. Some dog will pick it up. We'll get it. We'll get it. So no worry there. This springtime event, which again happens 4 times a year, wouldn't happen at all if it weren't both for your generosity with funds, but also for what's really an army of volunteers that we have in this room. And for those of you that like what you see here, for those of you that fall in love like I did 15 years ago with the notion of being at a meeting with a dog just sort of standing in the middle of the aisle, right? Or for those of you in the back, you're watching your feet so that you don't step on a tail. And when you get up to go get more food or buy something, you have to really be careful. Isn't that the trip? I mean, isn't that just the greatest? And so for those of you that like this scene, think about volunteering. I mean, I sat down and I tried to list all the types of ways to volunteer for Canine Companions. And I have to read this because there's so many, and I know there's something I've forgotten. Okay, so hang on. There's dog washers, there's envelope stuffers, there's presenters, people that do presentations for us. There's people that provide those lunches, grads. Weren't they wonderful? Yes, volunteer lunch makers. There's people that bake cookies. There's people that raise money. There's people that chair events. There's puppy raisers. We all like those. There's people that clean the vans. There's people that help with the turn-in process that's going to happen a little later today. There's people that lead our volunteer chapters and our volunteer groups, and you know who you are. Puppy sitters. Those are the people, that's a cool way to start with this, by the way, because those are the people that are trained to sit the puppy raisers' dogs when we travel. So it's actually easier to raise a canine companion puppy than have a pet dog, because you travel, you just get yourself your puppy sitter and off you go. So that makes that pretty easy. There's people, I didn't know this, people that plant plants around the campus. There's greeters, the greeters here. There's docents that give tours. There's the parking monitors. There's people that man booths. And there's the people that clean the campuses. I mean, it's just, and there's more, and it's unlimited. So there's every opportunity here, and our gratitude is perpetual for those that volunteer to keep this wonderful ship moving. And among those volunteers are our board members. We've got 13 board members here in the Southwest region, and they come from different aspects of Canine Companions for Independence. And it is dark, so do help me out here a little bit. I'd like just to have those of you that are here, I'll call out your names. Either raise your hand and wave it around or just stand up real briefly. Glenn Gregos. Glenn, where were you? Glenn, I can't see you. Where is he? There's. Oh, hey, Glenn. Oh, Glenn is here. Glenn is from the Los Angeles area. Deep into Los Angeles. We are spreading our Canine Companion efforts up into LA. And in fact, we're going to have an event up in Los Angeles called Hote Dog. It's probably listed in your program on October 14th. So those of you that are further north, or all of you, watch for that. That's going to be a very neat thing, and he's helped promoted that in the class. He is one of our graduates with his dog, Kalia, is here. He is also a puppy raiser. And his wife, Ellen, also does so much for Canine Companions. So multiple function beyond the board. Leslie Hennessy. Leslie, I'm assuming you're over on that side. There she is. Leslie Hennessy and her husband, Randy. Leslie is from Colorado and San Diego. She is, I'm proud to say, a good friend. She is a multiple-time puppy raiser. And I always forget how many times, and every time I come up with a figure, it's too low for her. So she is on the move, and she will be turning in a very special dog today named Sherwood II. So that is what she is up to right about now. Then Cheryl Ishizaki. Cheryl, there she is. There's Cheryl. Cheryl's another board member from San Diego. She is a hospitality professional. And which is a great skill to have for our work here. And she's also a volunteer that you'll just see doing all kinds of different things. And Susan Ryan, right here in the front, hails from Colorado. She's a puppy raiser, first-time puppy raiser, but guess what we got on our board? She is our very own personal emergency room physician. Is that not cool? I mean, she's just great, and a fundraiser extraordinaire. Also, we have our advisory council member, Jay Scrivener. Jay, I saw you earlier. Where are you? Waving for him. Got him. Jay Scrivener, member of our advisory council, longtime puppy raiser, dog washer extraordinaire. And what he's done so much for us is help us connect to the Oceanside government and community, and his wife, Chris, is also very active. So thank you, board, you're the greatest. Thank you for being here. It really means a lot. I'd like to finish up rather briefly here and honor one particular volunteer. And we're going to honor this person by giving them what's known as the Geneva Davis Award. And the Geneva Davis Award has been with Canine Companions for many years, and it was originally designed to reward those volunteers that were most effective at outreach into the community and at volunteer recruitment. And it now has been expanded to include those that are outstanding leaders. And this person is indeed an outstanding leader, nominated by peers and very well deserved. When I learned who won this, I sat down and I tried to think, what are all the adjectives that describe the qualities in this human being? And one of them was willingness to take on a variety of tasks, whether it's booth sitting or doing presentations or leadership or puppy raising. This person rarely says no. She's one of those people that says yes so readily that you have to be careful about asking her because you know she'll say yes, and you don't want to put her in a bad spot. One of those things, one of those great people. One of the big things about her that I really admired, she's like laser focused on opportunities. I've watched her for the last year or so very assertively and effectively reaching out into the community. I could tell you a couple of stories about this woman, of the creativity with which she spotted an opportunity and went after it. A real treasure to us all, and not a skill that all of us have. She also has the most creative and gentle leadership style, and she's about to know who she is. And this person was the chair of, and I'm getting teary because she's so great and such an honor to have her as a friend. She chaired Dogfest Walk and Roll, and the award goes to Mary Milton, if she'd like to gradually start making her way. Just one sign of her leadership is that when she was chair of Dogfest, she'd set a goal of $160,000 raised, and she raised $170,000. Typical Mary, go past it. This woman also has the patience and the skill and the consistency to be a wonderful puppy raiser. She's raised 2 dogs, one of whom became a breeder, Zelinda, one of whom became a graduate and is here with the Corona Police Department. And she is now with McTwist. So I'd like to introduce Mary Milton, winner of the Geneva Davis Award, and my friend.
Thank you. I had no idea. Thank you. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, that's all right. I think
Thank you.
very well deserved. It doesn't get better than Mary. I'd like now to introduce another woman that we treasure, and that's going to be our Becky Hine, who's the program manager for the Southwest region. Becky's worked for Canine Companions, 15 years now, and she was an instructor, then she was a volunteer coordinator, and now she's in the puppy department. And Becky Hine also, I think puppy raisers would agree, is one of the many reasons that we just love being puppy raisers. So I'd like to introduce Becky Hine. Where are you, Becky? There she comes.
I get the puppy part. Good afternoon. I would like to invite all puppy raisers with matriculating dogs to line up alphabetically by dog on this side of the stage. And as they line up, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about the puppy program. So as the puppy program manager for the Southwest region of Canine Companions, I work with about 280 volunteer puppy raisers. For those of you that don't know, puppy raisers are volunteers who very kindly take an 8-week-old puppy from our program, socialize them, teach them obedience, work on their manners, and then give a wonderfully trained dog back to us once the dog is close to 2 years of age. Now, along the way, they pay for all of the dog's care. The dogs that you will meet in a few minutes will live at our Oceanside Training Center now and receive an additional 6 to 9 months of what we call professional training. We hope to see them on this stage then as part of a new assistance dog team. It is a long and emotional journey for our puppy raising volunteers. So the other day I was listening to a podcast about heroes, and the Carnegie Hero Awards are given out to those who act selflessly to help others in distress. I was amazed. One woman ran into a pasture to protect another woman from a raging bull. One man pulled 3 teenagers out of a flaming car with great injury to himself. They did not know these people. They were strangers, but they just had to help. And when they were asked in an interview, why did you do it? They couldn't answer. They just said that they felt called to. So people ask our puppy raisers all the time, how can you do this? How can you give the dog back? I would fall in love with them. I could never do it. Every puppy raiser does fall in love with the dog. And they each have their own answer, but most of them say, how could I not? Our puppy raisers are everyday heroes. They work hard. They are called to do this because they love dogs, but also because at the end of the day, they want to give a gift to someone, the gift of an amazing companion. They don't know the person that will receive the dog. They're a stranger. Puppy raisers, I am glad to know you all. Thank you for your hours of hard work, for your integrity, and for your giving hearts that are oh so needed in this world of ours. I'd like to invite up our rosette presenters. Presenting our rosettes today, our special guests Hannah Haas and Dave Garcia of PetSmart. PetSmart and PetSmart Charities are generous donors to Canine Companions, supporting several of our programs and activities. We do ask that those of you with friends matriculating today take photos from your seats so that our photographer can get some good shots. And then before we recognize our first puppy raisers, I would also like to recognize puppy raisers Ann Deekers and Teresa Wilson. They raised Amelia, who was recently chosen as a breeder dog. Let's give them a round of applause. Please enjoy some photos as we call up our individual puppy raisers. Not all of the puppies and their raisers are here today, but we will recognize them all. Bay was raised by Vicki Boynton, Jane Drover, and Tom Gibson from San Diego, California. It's the 14th puppy for Vicki and the 14th for Jane and Tom. Next we have Carmela II. She was raised by the Navcon Brig Miramar from San Diego, California. The Navcon Brig Prison Puppy Raising Program has raised 49 puppies for us. Next, we have Clayton III, raised by Sheila Lupton from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, and Reverend Greg Bierbaum from Littleton, Colorado. This is the 13th puppy for Sheila and the first for Reverend Greg. Presenting Clayton on their behalf is Lisa Hewitt. Oh, and we do have Carmela. This is Carmela II, raised by the Navcon Brig Miramar. There are 49 puppies. Next we have Coach II, raised by Ginger and Tom Ellison from Boulder, Colorado. This is the first puppy that they have raised. Colbert II was raised by Tina Bertain and Ricky and Elia from Peoria, Arizona. This is the third puppy they have raised. Kindly presenting Colbert is Mimi Paulette. Dagmar II was raised by Petra Fisher from Foothill Ranch, California. This is the third puppy that she has raised. Dalton III was raised by Amy and Tim Steiner from Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is the 7th puppy that they have raised. Fairfax II was raised by Lydia and Tim Vise from Carlsbad, California. This is the third puppy that they have raised. Faith VI was raised by Leon Buchanan from San Diego, California, and Dusty Bergman from Gig Harbor, Washington. This is the 8th puppy raised by Leon, and the 8th for Dusty. Fajita, that's right, Fajita was raised by Deb Ferraro and Dorothy Wagamester from Vista, California. It's the second puppy they have raised, and we already have Fajita with us at CCI. Thank you, ladies. Glory the Sixth is raised by Mary Ann Bonder from Coto de Casa, California. This is the first puppy that she has raised. Godiva the Third was raised by Diana and Randy Rothschild and Rachel from Santa Monica, California. This is the first puppy that they have raised. Hadara the Second was raised by Pat, Jack, Chloe, and Mia and Ralph from Littleton, Colorado, and Patsy Cornwell from Parker, Colorado. This is the 5th puppy for the Duck family and the 6th for Patsy. Halifax was raised by Claire Van Konijnenberg from Pacific Palisades, California. This is the second puppy that she has raised. Hamlet V was raised by Mike and Myrna Sonstein from Oceanside, California. This is the third puppy that they have raised. Hopper II was raised by Terry and Joe Stambaugh from Redondo Beach, California. This is puppy number 15. They did raise a real puppy. She's just in the kennels right now. Hound was raised by Tanner Cole from Fort Collins, Colorado. This is the first puppy that he has raised. Jumbo II was raised by Nancy and Mike Drake from Layton, Utah. This is the third puppy that they have raised. Jancy was raised by Susan and Bob Brennicke from Bernalillo, New Mexico. This is the first puppy that they have raised. Jasmine the Eighth was raised by Barbie Lanning from Jurupa Valley, California. This is the second This is the second puppy that you have raised in the valley. Julia the Fourth was raised by Patty and Michael Burford from San Diego, California. This is the fifth puppy that they have raised. Kyson was raised by Peggy Merrigan from Boulder, Colorado. This is the second puppy that she has raised. Presenting Kyson is Sandy Barker. Kay the Fifth was raised by Kath Phillips from Hemet, California. This was the 33rd puppy that she raised. Presenting Kay is her husband, Jim Phillips. Lost our dear Kath in November, but through beautiful Kay, her legacy lives on. Laka was raised by Kathy Sagan from Colorado Springs, Colorado. This is the sixth puppy that she has raised, and we have Brooke Exley presenting her. Thank you. Lightning the Third was raised by Janice Ruoff and Ed Chappelle from Windsor, Colorado. This is the second puppy that they have raised. Mello was raised by Patty and Shane Rose from Layton, Utah. This is the third puppy that they have raised. Neomia, or Neo, was raised by Kathy Hubin from Palos Verdes Estates, California, and the Navcon Brig Miramar. This is the fifth puppy that Kathy has raised. Oriana the Third was raised by Jen Carney from Carlsbad, California. This is the fourth puppy that she has raised. Peyton the Fifth was raised by Coley, Joe, Howie, and Ethan Ryland from Stansbury Park, Utah. This is the second puppy that they have raised. Sabine the second was raised by Lisa Moriarty from Chandler, Arizona. This is the third puppy for Lisa. Sheldon the third was raised by Michelle Connors and Pat Lawson from Queen Creek, Arizona. This is puppy number 11. Sherwood the second was raised by Leslie Hennessy and Randy Kunkel from San Diego, California. This is Lucky 13. Silk the third was raised by Joe and Amber Billig and Tegan and Bronson from Denver, Colorado. This is the first puppy that they've raised. Skipper the second was raised by Carol and Dave Wilkerson from Colorado Springs, Colorado. This is the first puppy that they have raised. Varsity the second was raised by Katie and Samantha Lee from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. This is the second puppy that they have raised. Presenting Varsity is Jennifer Halstead and Maddie and Bryson. Vienna the sixth was raised by Dawn and Ariana McClure from San Diego, California. The first puppy that they have raised. Vienna is in the kennels with us already. Waffle the second was raised by Terry and Charlotte DeWitt from Arkadelphia, Arkansas. This is the first puppy that they have raised. Weasley was raised by Mike and Kathy Bennett from Humul, California. This is the seventh puppy that they have raised. Yabby was raised by Chris and Tommy Hosmer from Laguna Niguel, California. This is the first puppy that they have raised. Yiley was raised by Eliana and Alfredo Covarrubias from Chula Vista, California. This is the first puppy that they have raised. Yanni was raised by both the Kaufman family and the Hirsch family from Aurora, Colorado. This is the 10th puppy for the Kaufmans and the 14th for the Hirsches. Zeta the fifth was raised by Brian and Kathy Landis and Little Bean from Colorado Springs, Colorado. The third puppy they have raised. And we already have Zeta at CCI. Zorro the third was raised by Barbara Hutchins from Parker, Colorado. This is the fifth puppy that she has raised. We'd like to take a moment to recognize our matriculating class and also all puppy raisers and puppy sitters past and present. Thank you so much. Puppy raisers, you may be seated.
We have one more round of applause for these amazing puppy raisers. Thank you, Becky, and thank you all the puppy raisers for the important work that you do. Next, we'd like to acknowledge and honor some people with a special edition Canine Companions Challenge coin. This coin is presented in honor of service to the military and one's participation and contribution to Canine Companions Veterans Initiative. Today, we will be presenting two veterans, each with a coin. This is what the coin looks like, because it's kind of small. So joining me up here on stage is Canine Companions graduate and Vietnam veteran Buddy Watchstetter and Lexi. Good job. Buddy is a strong supporter of our mission and especially our work with veterans. He also sits on the board of the Paralyzed Veterans of America. Thank you for your service, and thank you for helping us today, buddy. First, we honor Jeremy Wells, a veteran of the United States Air Force, where he was a major and squadron commander. I'm gonna move this up a little bit. Jeremy is a member of this graduating class, now living in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Here's the plan. I'm gonna get out of the way. And next, we honor B.J. Ganem, a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, advocate for veterans, co-captain of the National Wounded Warrior Amputee Football Team, motivational speaker. Why'd you guys go? Motivational speaker and CEO of Sierra Delta, Service Dogs for Heroes. BJ will tell you a little bit more about Sierra Delta in a second, but they connect high-quality service dogs and veterans through a network of established partners, which include Canine Companions for Independence. BJ and Sierra Delta are generous donors to Canine Companions and the work we do to provide service dog to veterans, including Buddy and Jeremy.
Thank you very much for this. This is a beautiful coin. Do you mind if I take this off? I don't like to stand still. I got a Fitbit on, so I want to make sure I get all my steps in. So Sierra Delta started last year. It was our very first year. It came from an idea from one of my biggest sponsors, the Bishop family, who owns Blue Buffalo. They wanted to find out how they could help veterans get more service dogs. And so I started looking into it and started realizing that there was no single point entry place for veterans looking to learn about service dogs or the magic that service dogs can provide. So I decided to come up with a network. I saw that there was organizations like Canine's Companions for Independence that were doing great work and have been for, I think, 40 years. How long is Canine? 40 years? It's amazing. There's a bunch of other organizations out there. So I figured we didn't need to raise the dogs, and we didn't need to breed the dogs. But we need to be able to provide the education to the veterans about what a public access service dog is and what a public access service dog isn't, what an emotional support dog is, and the value in what an everyday pet can do. What you're all probably wondering is, this guy's involved with veterans and service dogs. We see he's a veteran, but where is his service dog? I don't have one. When I was blown up Thanksgiving night of 2004, my very first convalescent leave home, I bought an Old English Bulldog puppy in 2005. He's absolutely good at nothing except for clearing a room with his farts and chewing things that he's not supposed to. But he's my good-for-nothing dog, and he helped me through a lot of dark times. So I understand the bond that humans and dogs have. And I understand the magic, the therapy, the life-changing support that a well-trained service dog from organizations such as Canine Companions for Independence can have on individuals' lives, especially veterans. I look at the service dog for veterans as rebuilding their team. In the military, we have fire teams, we have squads, we have platoons, companies, on up to regiments. When we get out, it's not that we're afraid of bad guys around every corner. There's a longing for that camaraderie. There's a longing for that danger. And it's a void that is missing. Working in social work now for 4 years and working with various nonprofits, I look at these men and women and I tell them, I can't assign you a person. I can't make us all 21.8 million vets that are alive. I can't make us all go live in the same city so we can be near each other. But one thing we can do is we can reestablish your fire team. with a well-trained public access service dog or even an emotional support dog. And from there, we hope that you build your squads within your family and your friends, your platoons within your community, and work and grow and get out and do more. And so that's what Sierra Delta is really focused on. We're proud to give to organizations like Canine Companions for Independence to help with that pairing process. But what we're more interested in is the network afterwards, providing the opportunity for someone to lean back on someone else, the community that we thrived on when we served. No matter if we served in the Vietnam era, Korean War era, World War II era, Cold War era, Gulf War era, if you served in the military, you served, and Sierra Delta's here to help with that transition, especially when it comes to service dogs. So thank you all for being here, being a part of this. And thank you again, Canine Companions for Independence, for your amazing work. I look forward to a long future of working together.
Thank you, BJ. Thank you, Sierra Delta. So you've briefly met Jeremy, but now let's meet this February graduating class. After a short video.
I work with the Phoenix Police Department. I'm a detective there in the Crimes Against Children unit. And basically, we investigate all kinds of crimes against children, and Gibson will be involved in interviews. We connected the first time that we worked together, and his personality is just bright, and he's so communicative with his eyes. I was totally thrilled. I think Gibson will bring a level of comfort, kind of like he has to me already, in making it easier for children to talk to us during an investigation. I didn't expect the level of confidence that I feel with him by my side. It's pretty neat to experience. My relationship with Canine Companions is so new yet, but I can see myself being a part of this organization for the rest of my life.
Team training is awesome. It really teaches you how to work a service dog. It's way more than what you would anticipate just a normal dog. There's just so much that these dogs can do, and what they train and how to train these dogs when you get home, it just sets you up for success. One of my favorite memories from this team training is the pre-match day, where you get to see these dogs get paired up with who they're potentially going home with, and the excitement from not only the people receiving the dogs, but from the dogs themselves. It's pretty awesome.
My experience the second time around, going through team training a second time around, has just been phenomenal. You know, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like coming for a successor after I've had my first dog, and it's just been fantastic. Better than I could ever have imagined. The way that they teach the classes is, I'm a former teacher, and I can say that the way they teach the classes is second to none. And you know, the volunteers that do our lunches and provide our delicious food, and just everything. I just hope everybody knows how very appreciative that I am for everything. We would not have our independence if it was not for Canine Companions for Independence.
I served 20 years in the military, the U.S. Air Force, and 6 of that was enlisted, where I did a lot of heavy movement of cargo, and I hurt my back during that time period. And then over the 20 years of the service time that I had, it just continued to get worse. I think he'll change my life in drastic ways, specifically pain management. He'll help me to be able to be more active during the day with less pain. Most memorable moment was during the pre-match when they brought Magnus out and I saw him, and knowing that he was going to be my battle buddy.
Django will help with companionship and also being able to pick up stuff up off the floor.
And I think, like, for him, he has an older brother, and his older brother, you know, plays a lot of sports, does a lot of things, so it's really nice that when he has to go, he's, you know, kind of drug around to a lot of activities that, you know, he can't really participate in. So it'll be nice that he has somebody there with him. You know, when he's feeling left out or feel like he can't do this, he's gonna have somebody that'll be with him and be a good companion, and, you know, be by his side. So I think it's really going to help him.
I can't tell you how excited I have been to be at team training. The people are wonderful, the trainers are terrific. They're smart, they're sharp, they're, you know, so willing to work with each individual person, and getting to know each group in our class has been so much fun. I've loved every moment of it. It's been special for me. These dogs are amazing. The thing that's unusual is that they're so special compared to any other dogs that you'd ever be around or ever want to meet, because they're so smart, they're so beautiful, they're so willing to work and willing to do things. So we love them very much. And we're happy to have you as our part of our family, sweetheart.
My first dog helped me by picking things up off the floor, opening doors, turning off light switches, things like that, and just being my companion. And basically Axel will be doing the same thing.
One of the things, the reason that we got a dog originally was Scotty being in a wheelchair. It was little kids his age didn't approach him because they were afraid of his wheelchair. But if you have a dog beside you, they are interested in coming up, you know, to the dog and saying, you know, what's your dog's name? And so it helped make people be more receptive to him, and then it also was good for him to talk to people as well.
This has been an amazing experience, and we're just, the things that we start out with the basics, and then you just build and build and you build and add on that, and it's so well organized. But I think now that we have these tools, that we're going to take Maureen home, and we're really going to be able to work with her and teach her to do some things that's really going to be helpful to Max. I think this is just the beginning.
When I heard the Camo will be with me, there's a time like, oh, that's really, I'm excited. Because Camo is the one I saw, he's so calm, and then like very like warm heart, you know, like a very good dog. So I was very excited. In our clinic, we have many kids who are non-verbal or kind of minimally verbal. So, or some kids kind of, they are very less motivated to talk to people. So when Camo's there, I expect he can be a very huge motivator for kids to talk to.
I think it's a real good pre-match. And she, as someone said, she waddles down the road like I do. We're both of us are the same, and she's so slow that she stays with me, and she doesn't really have to back off or anything because she stays with me. They are giving us an opportunity to continue on with our life and be able to function as an individual and not have to rely so much on other people to help us, and that we can do more things for ourselves just because we have help with the dog.
So Tori is my successor dog. My last dog got me through 10 years, and Tori is going to get me through the next 10 years into retirement. The great thing about Tori is that she can help me get through all the ordinary things that I do day to day, so that when I want to do those extraordinary things like travel or do special trips with our grandkids, or you know, play with them in the yard, it gives me a little bit longer to live and to live a little bit less painfully. I'm very grateful to CCI, and especially to the puppy raisers, for what they've given me, this generous gift, and I really appreciate it.
I worked with them a few times, but I didn't really, having been through it before, I knew I shouldn't get attached or have any prejudgments on dogs. All the dogs are fully and well trained, so I knew that it's in the hands of the trainers, and they knew what they were doing a lot more than I know what I was doing. But once I did get him, it was a kind of an open bond straight away. I mean, he's a bit of a brute. He's a big dog, and he's going to have to do it, because I live on a boat, so he's going to have to pull some pretty heavy lines and things like that. So it was an excellent choice.
This is Pancho, always mellow,
Even though it's chaos around him, he's just a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart. Esteban can just hug him and kiss him and lay on top of him gently, right, Esteban? And he's fine with you being gentle, right? So he gives his hugs and he likes it. He's just a gentle soul. We're hoping that Pancho can give him a little peace and calm and can help him with transitions and can help him just to have a friend to rely on and to play.
Oh, I just think she's so sweet and just so polite, docile, just, I don't know, just great. When we're all hanging out in like the family room, he's a lot of times on the floor on his blanket, so when we're all watching TV, it'll be somebody great to be on the floor with him, I guess, besides me, and you know, maybe some encouragement through his physical therapy. You know, when we're doing some of his walking and stuff, that maybe the dog could help us encourage maybe some sort of a race per se when he's doing some of his therapies. I'd just like to tell everybody involved with CCI thank you and how wonderful everybody's been since we got here. It's just such a wonderful organization. We can't be thankful enough to be chosen and carry on the ambassadorhood of all that. So we're awesome. Thank you.
Now we're gonna take her home.
That's right.
It's on. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Morgan, and I'm actually the quiet one of this group. They all laugh because I'm really not. I'm a CCI graduate from 2007 with my service dog, Achuca. I don't have Hobart with me right now, but he's my successor dog. During the team training, we all came together as a pack and we started working with each other. This particular pack of graduates all came ready to learn and are keen for their placement with their new dog. We have all made small controlled progress over the past few weeks. We have been placed with dogs that everybody feels is spot on for our needs, which within itself is not a very easy task. The evaluation and placement was absolutely flawless and is seamless for all that took part in it. With the change in increase in our confidence, we all now have developed an I can attitude. I was born with spinal bifida. I did not attend school until I was about 12 years old. Many operations, back, leg, muscle transplants. So I was not there until I was 12. Went to college, became a teacher, physical education specialist, and wanted to give back, so I became an adaptive PE instructor. Run marathons, became a professional squash player. Life was very good. Then a doctor told me one day that I might have issues with my back. Medicine in those days, because I'm an old guy, was not where it is today. I got to about when I was about 45 years old. Major pain, visits to the ER, and of course medication. This isn't in the speech, but I'll give you a little aside. I went to the ER one day, and I woke up the next morning, and everybody was giggling and walking around, and the doctor was going. I had no idea what he was talking about. I was on a medication, and apparently during the night, I put on a surgical gown backwards and then proceeded to walk around the walls trying to sing like Botticelli. So I thank CCI for not exposing the rest of the world to that on numerous occasions. The medication was really debilitating, and I was not in a good place at all. My wife Claudia got involved with a doctor and who encouraged me to do some physical exercise for chronic pain and fatigue. It worked really well, but I still needed the meds. Then she said, well, what about a service dog? And I said, what's a service dog going to do for me? You know, guys, don't you just hate it when they're right? You know, and it's just... And she tells me she was always right. As a revisited moment on numerous occasions. I attended team training in 2007. I was on meds. It was tough, but I was able to manage. My back was getting better. I didn't have to bend, and the chuka loved to get, so does whole back. Beginning of the second week, I said, I'm going to try it without meds to see if I can manage it. That was the last time I was ever on any medication. Thank you. Thank you. It was truly a life changer for me. For that, I will always be thankful to CCI and the CCI family. To all the volunteers, thank you for all your support. To all the puppy raisers, and I have to say it, although Becky Hines has said it 20 million times, I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. And I have to thank Scott, as everybody else has thanked their puppy raisers this morning, for supplying me with a successor dog. To all the donors, this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful organization. We cannot thank you enough, for without you, these magical moments would not continue to happen one at a time that truly change our lives. To all that makes this happen in the CCI family, I thank you tremendously, especially to my sensei, Simi Bold. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Simi Balter, and I'm the program director for the Southwest region. And standing with me on stage is the incredibly talented Southwest training manager, Chuck Dickinson, and equally talented instructor, Lindsay Taylor. Walt Disney said, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Lindsay Taylor had two very... Spring allergies. Thank you, Sandra. Lindsay Taylor had two very big dreams. One was to train service dogs, and the other was to become an instructor for canine companions. Lindsay definitely showed courage, and in September 2013, she accomplished one of her dreams. She started training service dogs for canine companions. January 24th, 2018, marked another significant day for Lindsay. She attained her second dream by earning her instructor credentials. Gosh, okay, pull it together, Cindy. Grandmother Willow and Pocahontas said, sometimes the right path is not the easiest one. Anyone who has ever traveled the path to become an instructor would agree. The path to become a canine companions instructor is a long and winding one that requires a 3 to 4 year commitment. The path is extremely demanding, both physically and emotionally. The Instructor Assistant, or IA program, is the first step on the path toward becoming an instructor. The successful IA will establish basic dog handling skills, cultivate a proficiency in animal husbandry, and develop an understanding of disability awareness. An IA is promoted into an Apprentice 1. An Apprentice 1 is required to complete a rigorous 6-month apprentice course under the supervision of a training manager. Upon completion of the course, the apprentice must pass a written and practical exam in order to be promoted to the Apprentice 2 level. The focus of the Apprentice 2 is on advancing training skills, as well as becoming more familiar with the other areas of program. And yes, the Apprentice 2 must also pass a written and practical exam in order to be promoted to an Apprentice 3. The Apprentice 3 level prepares the trainer for the in-depth written and extremely challenging practical exam they must pass in order to become a fully certified instructor. Rapunzel said, if you venture outside your comfort zone, the rewards are worth it. Lindsay ventured outside of her comfort zone, and I am confident she would agree that the rewards have been well worth it. In her tenure with Canine Companions, Lindsay has trained or has had over 100 dogs attached to the end of her leash. Some of those are graduating with us today.
If you couldn't tell, Lindsay is a huge Disney fan, and the movie Frozen is one of her all-time favorites. So, to conclude, Lindsay, some dogs are worth melting for. Congratulations to Southwest's newest instructor, Lindsay Taylor. Now, I would like to invite another talented Southwest instructor to the stage, Grace Hardy. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Grace Hardy, and I'm an instructor here at Canine Companions for Independence. I, along with my fellow instructors, Sarah, Lindsay, Chuck, and Amy, had the great pleasure of teaching our February 2018 team training class. For those of you who may not be familiar with our program, team training is an intense 2-week course where students are matched with an assistance dog. This requires them to put their lives on hold and to devote their time, energy, and effort into this exciting yet exhausting journey. They have spent countless hours listening to lectures, taking quizzes, and most importantly, practicing skills. Over the past 2 weeks, these students have learned how to use over 40 commands with their new dogs and have come up with brilliant ways on how to best utilize these dogs to add years of independence, happiness, and companionship to their lives. Finally, at the end of the 2 weeks, our students successfully completed both a practical final and a written final, proving that they had absorbed all the material we shared with them and were able to apply effectively while working with their new partner. The teams you are about to meet have transformed over the past 2 weeks into effective and successful working teams with their new Canine Companions assistance dogs. Moving forward, these dogs will empower their partners every day by their presence before anything else. In return, our graduates hold the great responsibility to see what their canine partners are cared for, kept safe, and enable them through love, respect, effective communication, and handling to fulfill their essential roles to their highest potential and to enjoy every single moment of it. Graduates, we would like to acknowledge your efforts as well as your successes and sincerely thank you for the hard work and dedication you have put into your time here. On behalf of the Southwest instructional staff, for the devotion and patience that you have put forth in the past weeks, thank you and congratulations. Now, I would like to invite instructor Lindsay Taylor back to the stage to present our graduating teams for our February team training class.
Thank you, Grace. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our teams. The first graduate team I would like to introduce is Peter from Redondo Beach, California. Peter is being placed with assistance dog Hobart III, a male yellow lab. Hobart is being presented today by his puppy raiser, Scott Bordelais from Orange, California. Next, I would like to introduce Major Jeremy Wells, United States Air Force, from Calhoun, Colorado. Jeremy is being placed with assistance dog Magnus II, a male black lab golden cross. Magnus is being presented today by his puppy raiser, Don Rudolph, from Poway, California. Next graduate is Kelly from Sandy, Utah. Kelly is being placed with assistance dog Tori, a female yellow lab golden cross. Tori is being presented today by her puppy raiser, Kelly Kiesling from Arvada, Colorado. would like to introduce Scotty with training assistant Lori from Bakersfield, California. Scotty is being placed with assistant's dog Axel V, a male yellow lab. Axel is being presented today by his puppy raisers Laura Bowen and Aaron Kellett from Carlsbad, California. Our next graduate is Sue from Riverside, California. Sue is being placed with assistant's dog Darby VI, a female yellow lab golden cross. Darby is being presented today by her puppy raiser Linda Zellick from Torrance, California. Next, I would like to introduce Chris from Glendale, Arizona. Chris is being placed with assistant's dog Chowder, a male yellow lab golden cross. Chowder is being presented today by his puppy raisers Melanie and Mike Stefoni from Evergreen, Colorado, and Marilyn Malio from Castle Rock, Colorado. The next graduate I would like to introduce is Max with facilitator Lisa from Edmond, Oklahoma. Max is being placed with assistant's dog Maureen IV, a female black lab golden cross. Maureen is being presented today by her puppy raiser James Duray from Denver, Colorado. Our next graduate is Mary Lynn from Chandler, Arizona. Mary Lynn is being placed with assistant's dog Revere II, a male yellow lab. Revere is being presented today by his puppy raisers Miguel and Maggie Espinoza from La Mesa, California. I will now pass the mic off to apprentice instructor Amy Kinsella to announce the second half of the teams.
afternoon, everyone. The next graduate I would like to introduce is Sun from Conway, Arkansas. Sun is being placed with assistance dog Camo, a male yellow lab golden cross. Camo was raised by Donna Curry, Randall Ames, and Heather Shields from Centennial, Colorado. Presenting Camo today is Donna and Heather. The next graduate I would like to introduce is Susan from Salt Lake City, Utah. Susan is being placed with assistance dog Dresden II, a female yellow lab golden cross. Dresden is being presented by her puppy raisers Connie Delamater and Dawn Rutledge from Ogden, Utah. The next graduate I would like to introduce is Jamie from Phoenix, Arizona. Jamie is being placed with assistance dog Gibson III, a male yellow lab golden cross. Gibson is being presented by his puppy raiser Michaela Motzko from Berryville, Arkansas. The next graduate I would like to introduce is Sawyer with facilitator Anthony from Taylorsville, Utah. Sawyer is being placed with assistance dog Biddy, a female black lab golden cross. Biddy is being presented by her puppy raisers Jennifer Ando from Redondo Beach, California, and the Scott family from Huntington Beach, California. The next graduate I would like to introduce is Jack with facilitators Jeremiah and Sadie from Hemet, California. Jack is being placed with assistance dog Jenga II, a female black lab golden cross. Jenga is being presented by her puppy raisers Michaeline and Fred Mooney from Carlsbad, California. next graduate I would like to introduce is Andrew with facilitators Justine and Dan from Gilbert, Arizona. Andrew is being placed with assistance dog Charlotte III, a female black lab golden cross. Charlotte is being presented by her puppy raisers Lauren Yang from San Diego, California, and Tammy Whitfield from Coronado, California. The next graduate I would like to introduce is Esteban with facilitator Martha from Ladera Ranch, California. Esteban is being placed with assistance dog Poncho, a male black lab golden cross. Poncho is being presented by his puppy raisers Jolie and Jean Marzo and Hannah from Escondido, California.
When this one can do it. Thank you.
And now please join me in giving a big round of applause for the graduating class of February 2018.
Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for sharing in our joy for these partnerships. I hope you learned something about Canine Companions by being here, even if you are a longtime volunteer with us. This weekend, as you go about your regular weekend activities, think about these 15 Canine Companion Olympians who will be at home with their dogs, perfecting their handling skills, relaxing and feeling the special, unconditional love that comes from a dog. And you should know that you helped make that happen. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Contemporary Women of North County and Debbie Butler for the dessert reception. Now you can go. Thank you.